9th of October 2019. Thank you for joining us, folks. I'm just here in the pottery. I'm actually going to do a couple of things. One is I'm going to... Hi, big hello. Good to be back on the wheel. What I'm going to do is, I don't make many GP bowls these days, and I don't make any plates hardly. I can make them both, of course, but I find people don't really... GP bowls, I sell them. They take up quite a lot of room in the kiln because they're fired face to face, and then I don't get a lot for each bowl. I mean, I get like $20 for a GP bowl. So okay, so if I put them face to face, but then I have the extra height. So what I'm not really getting good value out of my kiln. So I'm trying to sort of think about in terms of, you know, the retail price I can get versus the amount of space it's taking in the kiln. So I've been thinking, well, I'd like to make some plates and I'd like to make some bowls. And I thought, well, let's make a plowl. So these what I'm going to make now are plowls. They're not plates and they're not bowls, they're plowls. Alright. 2 pounds of clay. Let's see how we get on with that. But first, a sip of tea. A sip of matcha green tea. Okay. So, yeah, these, let's just see how we get on. Let us see. Right. If you're not sure how well you wedged or kneaded up your clay, if you cone up your clay before you center it down, I always think it's a good idea. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going to sort of make a shape like that. I made a few of these last night, and so that wants to be like about 5 inches at that stage, I think. Right, so now I'm going to break in. These are a little bit chunkily thrown because I'm not throwing them on bats, you see. I'm throwing these just on the wheel, and I'm going to get it off. I'm going to get it off the wheel just by lifting it. Let's get my mirror in situ. So yeah, they're a little bit deeply thrown. Something like that. Let's measure it. There should be 8.5. That's 8 1/4. So I'm avoiding the temptation to throw them out wider and thinner, because I'll then have difficulty getting them off the wheel. As always, you know, when you throw, you find that as you throw successive ones, you get more out of the clay. So I'm going to use this coconut rib. Now that actually is not very deep at the minute. Yeah, the ones I did yesterday were a little deeper than that. So I'm just going to make it a little bit deeper. I'm going to use this coconut rib. Right. Leather. I'll bring the camera over in a sec just to show you what we've got. These of course are going to be trimmed. Alright, so he's pretty much ready for cutting off now. Let us do a final measurement. Yeah, he's a smidge, he's actually about 8 3/4. That's okay, actually. Because the ones I did yesterday, last night I just threw a few of these just to sort of explore the idea of making a plowl. A plowl. That's a funny sounding word, isn't it? So it's a little bit narrow in the foot, as you can see. I'm trying to show you there with my camera. It's actually about, should be about, I think, about 1 3/4 inches. 1 3/4 inches. This is barely that. But always remember, when you're making plates, as they dry, the edges here will lift. Always will lift. Just a good to know that, isn't it? All right. So what I've got to do now is get that guy off. Let's have a go at doing that quickly. Cut off wire. Here it is. So yeah, I'm going to get this off without using the bat. So let's just cut him through like that. I'm going to take up some water here, just put it there, the water on that side. Take my, now I'm going to lift him. There he is. 1 plowl. Okay. We've got him there. Now, I did some of these yesterday, as I mentioned, and they, I think, let's have a look at them. Let's go over to the table. It should be ready for trimming. Yeah, I would say so. When you make plates and things, when they come to the trimming stage, push down in the center of each one, okay? Because they will tend to raise up a touch. So just with your hand push down, not a bad idea, especially in the middle there, because you don't want them to rock. Not that that matters, because they're going to be trimmed out anyway. Alright, let's just take this one. Yeah, we'll take this guy. Oh, I've got to get my trim tool, hang on. It's here hiding away. Here he is. Alright, let's put this back on here. La 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 la. Let's get as close in as I can. Something like that. Right. Yeah. So when making these, they, as I told you, the edges here, the edges will lift. So as soon as you can, do that. Get them upside down, okay? That will stop that happening as soon as you flip them. Flippity flip. Alright, so we're just going to damp the wheel head. We're going to damp around the edge here, like that. We want it damp, but we don't want it slippery, shiny, wet, if you know what I mean. Now, tap center. Okay, and then apply some downward pressure. And then take a sip of tea. Right. Stop fooling around, man. Okay, so I've just got to think about this. Just trying to think about the form here. I don't want to go too narrow in the foot. I'm going to go in there like that. Yeah, we want to just skim these off, trim them, but not become too obsessive about it. Just trim them, man. Don't know, but I think this one has got slightly dry on one side or something. It feels, as I'm trimming it, that's something to watch out for, by the way. If you put pots, you want to rotate your pots, you know, as they dry. Otherwise, if they're drying always in the same spot, you might have a draft going down one side, you know, and if you don't rotate them, you'll get uneven drying, and one side of the pot will be harder than the other. That is something to definitely take note of. So, always with drying of pots, be mindful of that. Okay, so digging in with the trim tool there, and now, so what I'm doing is I'm carving a foot ring. These are a little bit of a prototype. As I say, I've not really made a plow before. I don't even know if I invented that word, plow. Not that it matters, but you know. A plow, Simon, what is that? It's a mysterious word. A plow. What I'm actually wanting to do with these is I want to fire them so they sit inside each other, not like GP bowls fired face to face. Let's just bring the camera down here, have a look at what I've done though. So they sit inside each other. So what I'm going to do is burnish them on the inside, but I'm not going to glaze them. How about that? Oh, that's very radical. No, not really. You know what? You know, with stoneware you don't... Sorry, I kicked the camera, did I? I just kick the camera, will you? Okay. Yeah. Ooh. Oh. Alright, so as always, after doing some trimming like this, what you're going to do is you're going to put him back on the wheel, and where he was touching the wheel, what I like to do is just take a few finger droplets of water like that and just rub my fingers over the edge like that, you see. So there you have it. Look, there's a before and there's an after. Yeah, this one is actually thrown a little smaller. This one here was thrown a little fractionally wider. Yeah, if you lift them off like you saw me do, you might think that you're going to bend them out of shape. You do a little bit, but it's okay. They true up when they're a little bit more leather hard, so don't fret over that. Alright, so there it is. That's a plowl, and what I should do is another one, really. While I've got you here, let's do another one just quickly, and then because I want to show you, I want to snug the next one on top of that one, you see. So just wet that, damp that, drop him down. Yeah, I think these have I've not been vigilant over these, and they've been sat there on the table most of the day, and they've got a little hard on one side. Alright, well we learn, don't we, from our mistakes. Let me just measure while I'm at it here. Let me just measure that just so I get this one approximately the same. Put them down there. Whoops, sorry. Kicking the tripod again. Kicking the tripod again, okay. Come on. Right, let's... So not much to come off there, actually. So we're going to cut in there. A plow. Let's just bring the camera in a touch for a bit of detail. Right, let's just measure that one more time. It's just a little more to come off. So here, he's a little bit convex here, you see. Sorry, kicking the tripod, don't I? I'm gonna have to move it back a bit. I can see it's a right. Right, let's dig in about there. This is one of my trim tools if anybody's interested. I think they're on the website. Actually, I think we may have run out of them. But I've got some more on order. They're coming any day. So if you want a trim tool. Let's just have a look at that one. Oh yeah, it's got a bit more of a... Don't forget, break your corners. On every corner, especially on feet, you want to break the corner with a bevel on the corner. It strengthens the corner, you see. It's important to do that. Right. Am I liking it? Let's see, let's have a look. Yeah. All right. I think that is it. So let's try and get him off. Ooh. Slide him off carefully. Replace him on the wheel head. Any scabby bits of clay remove where he's been in contact with the wheel head. Alright, center him up. Oh, just make sure he's... Something to bear in mind is that the middle here is lower than the sides. And if you're not sure about that, you can put a straight edge across and you'll see how the middle is, okay? Having said that, I didn't check on the other one. The other one's okay. Alright, center him up. Alright, take a few droplets on your fingers like that. Okay, just hold your fingers with that little bit of water right on the edge there. Wrap round the edge. Okay, making nice and smooth. Alright, there he is. I think he's okay. Alright, I've got to pull back the camera. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to fire these in the kiln, you see, without glaze. Okay, so you might think, well, that sounds very boring. No glaze, but you know what? Stoneware, it doesn't need a glaze really to make it watertight or anything. Let's see if we can. I don't know if I can do this one-handed. I should put this back on the tripod, otherwise I'm going to get into hot water. Just looking at the battery, it's looking like it's getting a bit low. So the idea was that these are going to sit inside each other like that, you see. And they're resting on the feet, you see. The feet are resting. So if there's no glaze here, but it's just burnished, I'll be able to put that there, the next one, and then the next one. And so I'll build up a stack of plates. And I'll be able to get, in a space where I would only get, say, 2 plates or 3, I'll be able to get like 5 or 6 in the firing, you see. Alright. Okay, folks, there it is. Plowls. Plowls, plows, poles. If you please, a plow. Thanks a lot for joining us. If you want to come on a workshop, we are just about run out of workshops this year, actually. But there might be a space if you're a last minuter. So if you fancy coming, give us a shout, write to me. If you're a desperate who's got to attend a workshop and you can't wait to get through the winter, but you have to come this side of winter, give me a shout. Maybe we'll even run an extra workshop in December, who knows, if there's demand, if there's people out there who want to come in December, early December, we could possibly do an extra workshop. See, these usually would be fired typically face to face like that. But you can appreciate that takes up more space, doesn't it? Yeah. So that's why I was liking the idea of trying to make them and fire them so they sit inside like that, burnished. Okay folks, thanks a lot for joining us. I hope that was fun and something maybe you could have a go at, making a plo. It acts as a bowl and it acts as a plate. It can take the liquid, you know, so you can take your bread and mop it up like that if it's a little bit liquid. Okay, thanks for joining us. Keep practicing. As always, I will see you soon around town. Bye now.